Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Monday, the 3rd of February, 2025. Now, today was a fun day of gameplay, an interesting podcasting day with more tech issues that I may have solved finally. We'll talk about that in a sec. But at the same time, it was a day that was disheartening for me, and I'm going to tell you why. Particularly, it was my late night stream, and we're going to talk about that. Okay? So, on today's podcast, we had some fun discussions. We had some chill times. And essentially, there wasn't anything too major going on the podcast. We actually did a product taste test because the night before we had actually hit the funding goal for that stream, the support goal. But we had stayed late to beat Dino Crisis. So because of that, I didn't have time to stick around and do the special taste testing from this Sakura box that I promised you guys I would do every time we hit a goal. So we actually did it this morning on podcast. Give it a look. It was pretty entertaining. But by the end of the podcast, which was very chill, I started having tech issues again. My lighting went out. And then the capture device stopped working. And I'm like, what in the holy hell is going on at this point? You know, it gets frustrating because I keep doing all the right things, but then the equipment stops working by itself and I don't know how to get it to work to not do that. Like, I'm not doing things wrong. I'm just turning the computer on and using it like I'm supposed to. So why does the wireless disconnect? Why does the capture device stop working? I don't get it. Anyway, I had basically I went to the end of my limit of my wits this morning, and everyone's like, it definitely seems like it's a motherboard problem. Like, your motherboard, for some reason, because you have all these USB things plugged in, it's not working right. And I said, you know what? I have another powered USB hub because I have one already plugged in. That powered USB hub is powering both of my keyboards, both of my mice, and my printer, I believe. So I said, listen, I guess I need another one. So I plugged in another powered USB hub today. To that one, I plugged in my wide-angle shot webcam, which has a nice backdrop tonight. How's it going? Turn that off. My wide-angle shot webcam, all right, is now working on that other USB hub that's powered. And this microphone is on that USB hub. And I'm trying to remember what the third thing is. So basically now, I have two major USB hubs that have a whole bunch of stuff plugged in. I've got my capture device plugged in, and there's the wireless adapter, okay? That's like it. That's all I'm using. So hopefully now this will stop the problems. And the good news is, when I started doing this morning, when I used this powered USB hub and all this, it did stop having problems. It did not disconnect at all today, meaning the wireless, and the capture device worked all day long. Now, in addition to that, today I actually started at a better quality of capture slightly. What I noticed was that for some bizarre reason, my capture device was only capturing at 1080p, but then was upscaling through OBS to 1440p. So what you guys have been watching on stream and on demand technically was not really 1440p video. It was upscaled 1080p. Today, I actually had the capture device start capturing at 1440p legit. So I don't know if there was any difference in visual quality for you guys. Let me know, particularly the Call of Duty stuff, how it looked. But it should have been better. Not this camera, but any gameplay footage that I captured should have looked better, okay? I'd love your feedback. Now, first stream's gameplay was Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and I now used this different shot to get my face cam. The feedback was very positive. People told me that playing like this with keyboard and mouse without having invisible arms cut off and floating, without seeing a side angle, was much better. Particularly, they said my reactions of my face playing Call of Duty were much better than the old side cam that I used to do like this. So I'm happy to hear that. Obviously, the lighting is a little different when I have the key light on and you don't see these artifacts, right? But it is zoomed out, so I understand there's less detail. But hopefully people like it. I want feedback. What did you think of the new webcam for Call of Duty today? Hopefully it's better, okay? Gameplay of Call of Duty. We did the dailies, and the dailies were good today. Sniping. And I had a really good sniper rifle unlocked, and I started using it. I was getting one-shot kills almost every single time. I was like, damn, this is a good sniper rifle. So, good news is, I think I will do some sniping in the future with that sniper rifle because it's unlocked. Now, after we did the daily challenges, I went back to using the Uzi. I think it's called the SAUG in this one, the SOG, because I started using it at the very end of my last stream, and I actually really liked it. So I started using it again today, At first, admittedly, I wasn't doing that good because it's kind of weak, but over the course of the day, I unlocked the rapid fire and the extended mag. Those two combined make it way more powerful. So I was now mowing enemies down with this thing. Really, its weakness is bullets. Even with the extended mag, the most people you can kill is around 2. It's almost impossible to kill 3 people with this thing because you got to hit them so much to kill them. But I had a great time. Great progress, great support. Except we didn't hit the goal. I'll talk about this in a second. But great fun and learned a lot about using this gun and had a good time with it. All right. Support. We only hit around $70 in support. Okay. Now, admittedly, when I play Call of Duty, it is hit or miss. There are some Call of Duty streams where I hit the goal and exceed it. There's some that I don't. I think last time I played Call of Duty, I raised like 100. So I raised 70. Listen, it's not the end of the world. I don't always expect to hit the goal when I play Call of Duty. Now, keep in mind, we have momentum going. The momentum is that we're at 92 goals out of 100. I want to hit 100 by the end of the week because I want to do this special Viewer's Choice Marathon. You guys are currently voting on the games for that by going to the posts tab of my DSPGaming channel and liking the games out of the 8 that I posted up on that thread to see what we're going to play when we do the marathon. There's going to be booze and food and festivities. It's going to be a really fun event. So I want to do it this week because next week we got betas coming out and new games are coming out. So I want to do it by the end of this week, okay? The problem is we didn't hit the goal on the first stream. So the late stream tonight was a very strong experimental stream. What do I mean by that? Tonight on the late stream, I played a game that I didn't know what it was. It was recommended by viewers and actually donated by a fan. The name of the game is called Mouthwashing. It is a psychological horror game where it's in the future. There's a disaster, a crash of a freighter. You're stranded in space, and it's about a group of survivors trying to get by and the psychological torment they're going through. It's a pretty messed up game. The thing is, I don't want to explain to you why it's called mouthwashing because that would kind of spoil some of the premise of the game. I'd rather that you just watch the footage, okay? We played it for 2 hours. Does it have a lot of gameplay elements? No, it's mostly narrative and how you react to the narrative, okay? But I actually really enjoyed it. It's very dark, but entertaining in my opinion, and the story is developing. People said I got about an hour left to beat the game. We raised $50 tonight, all right? Now, I'm said it on the stream, but I'm going to reiterate it in this daily wrap, and I'm going to talk about it again on the podcast tomorrow. People tell me all the time, Phil, we want more variety in your content. We don't want you to just play the big AAA releases. You skip too many indie games, and we want you to enjoy more, particularly now that you have a high-end gaming PC and a state-of-the-art upper echelon capturing setup. We want you to play indies. So this is an opportunity. Someone recommended an indie to me and said, this is going to be worth your time. You should check it out. I said, okay. Attendance was okay. Support, 1/3 of my goal. So it's this simple. If you want indies and you're going to constantly campaign for them and you're going to ask for them, you've got to show up to support them. It's the same thing that happened last year with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's the same thing that happened with Metaphor. It's the same thing that happens with people who are a vocal minority. I feel there is an audience for indies, but this audience will only show up maybe half the time and only support maybe 1/4 of the time. Because I'm not saying that I've never played an indie and it didn't get support or anything like that. That has happened. But certainly tonight, that was not the case. And it's disheartening because I want to play more indies and I want to give people what they want. But I have to give people what they want who are actually willing to support me as a business as well. This is my business as well as my hobby. So I've got to do things that make sense. You understand? In this case, I was disheartened because I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was great psychological horror. People were enjoying it, but the support just wasn't there, okay? So here's the deal. I don't even know what to say. Do I want to finish the game? Of course I do. I'm 2 hours in. It's only an hour long. So maybe what I can do is have a night stream where we do 1 hour to finish and then a Q&A session or whatever. But you have to understand something. Now that's going to make me skeptical about playing indie games in the future. If I can play a night of Street Fighter, or if I can play a retro game like Dino Crisis, or if I can play a game like Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, or if I can play high-profile, bigger, newer games, and all of those get support, but people say, we want indies, and I play the indie, and then it gets $50, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to react? Right? So listen, this is not the end of the world, but man, today was a setback. Here's a day where we had great momentum from yesterday, hitting 3 goals, and today we hit none. In fact, between the 2 streams today, I didn't even get enough support to make 1 goal together. That's not good. And again, I want to do this marathon probably Friday at the latest. The actual rum cake for the marathon is arriving on Wednesday. So please, if you are someone who couldn't be here today, it's all good. But I hope that you will come by and you will support the streams moving forward for the rest of the week. I obviously want to do this fun marathon at the end of the week. I think it would be a great thing. And let's get it going. All right. Let's recover from today. Let's not dwell on it. Let's have a better day tomorrow. Fair enough. And so here's the deal. Tomorrow, a completely different kind of day. We will have a level 1 podcast in the morning, and then it's going to be more of Dark Souls with mods. We are in the midst of the DLC. I get the feeling that probably the stream will be the DLC, where I'm going to finish it up and probably fight Artorias and Calamite and then Manus and wrap it up. And then we'll probably head back to the main game. Now, will we finish the game? I don't know. There's a possibility, but it's not a guarantee. Depends on how long it takes me to get through the DLC. So we may finish Dark Souls tomorrow. We may not. Let's see what happens on that first stream. But it's going to be some of the end game best parts of the playthrough. So don't miss it if you like Dark Souls, and please support it. Tomorrow night is Smart Guys, our pro wrestling commentary show. Myself and Ashton will be joining forces yet again, this time to recap the results of the Royal Rumble from Saturday night and tonight's Monday Night Raw, which took place tonight. I'm going to watch it tonight. All my details ready and get my notes. We're going to have a good show tomorrow night, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time on the DSP Reacts channel, which is at DSP Reacts on YouTube, or on my kick channel, DSP Gaming Reel. I hope you'll join us, and I hope you'll support us. Remember, this is a show we split between the two of us. So let's get it going. Let's get great momentum, and let's get a good night. That will count, as I said, and I announced this last week. If we have a good night on Smart Guys, we split it right down the middle. So whatever we make, split it 50%, and if that hits a goal, it counts for me. If it hits 2 goals, it counts. I will count that towards our streak to get momentum. So let's see how it goes. Remember, you're not only supporting the show, but you're supporting me and my streaks, or my milestones and all that. Let's have a good night tomorrow night, all right? And as for indies, man, again, much like RPGs last year, I think I got to be more skeptical about them. Yeah, I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. People say, oh, the only reason that, you're not getting good varieties because you don't play indies. Play indies. It'll give good variety to your streams. And then, it's a slow stream. Like, what the heck, man? Well, everyone, have a good night. Tomorrow I'll be back for another fun day of good content. And hopefully we can get back on track, hitting our goals, and getting our milestones continued to do the marathon. All right, everyone. Have a good night. See you tomorrow, and peace out.